Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Sideshow from Isolated Thunderstorm and designer Marianne Larsen. Famed showman P.T. Barnum in 1840 created one of the most successful sideshows in history when he opened Barnum's American Museum in New York City. The show was a mixture of eccentric entertainers and other human oddities, and whether it was to see the bearded lady or to gawk at the 7'11" giantess Anna Swan, 400,000 visitors ended up flocking to the exhibit each year. And these sorts of sideshows became a mainstay in circuses and amusement parks around the world until they fell out of favor in the early 20th century. But that antiquated legacy of entertainment has been brought back to life in Isolated Thunderstorm's 5th anniversary celebration deck, Circus Sideshow. Designer Marianne Larsen's a name you may remember from one of her previous decks, Circus, you can see here. This deck actually won a Diamond Award from 52 Plus Joker as their Deck of the Year in 2021. And this deck was a haunting exploration into a Victorian circus, but for the follow-up, Marianne collaborated with artist Patrick Leese to take things out of the big top and into the sideshow tents for an all-new deck released exclusively on their website. The original Circus remains one of my favorite decks, so can't wait to check out the deck that I guess I would call a spiritual sequel to the original. And if you like what you see here, I'll put a link down in the description so you can get this deck for yourself. They're still available on Isolated Thunderstorm. But without any further ado, let's get into this one and check it out. All right, so it all starts with the tuck box, and this is done on a smooth tuck box, but it's given a nice kind of texture to the paper. There's no embossing of any sort, no foil, but there is just an ever so slight texture. It's more of a finish that's applied to this one that gives it a little bit more luxury of a feel, kind of gives the paper a little bit weightier of a feel to it. Really nice texture on this one, and the artwork really shines on this one. It's given kind of a vintage styling, kind of in keeping with the Victorian circus theme, and everything, much like the original Circus deck, kind of has a darker undertone to it. And so the clown on the front, giving kind of evil vibes with those kind of malicious eyes and the sharp teeth even. Beautiful detailing on this one as well. Love the look of it, and it's given the style of an old Victorian poster that you might see with the banner at the top proclaiming Sideshow playing cards. Love the use of the muted colors, again kind of keeping with that vintage vibe, and the image in the middle just kind of giving that sepia tones overall, but then the greens and the reds that are given there just giving that kind of muted vibe to them overall. Bottom, of course, you can see this one is celebrating the first 5 years of Isolated Thunderstorm. As you turn to the side, you get the banner Circus Extraordinaire, and then kind of a menagerie of different circus performers down there lining the bottom. Other side, the riskier, the merrier. Bottom has your ad copy, also mentions Patrick Leese, who collaborated on the artwork, and this deck was printed by MPC. Now, Make Playing Cards, not one of the ones you'll typically see, but I gotta say, just a spoiler alert, I was pleasantly surprised by the quality of this one overall. As you turn to the top, a little bit more of a scene of the circus there in black and white, little hits of the green and the greens and the reds there as well. And then the back, this isn't the back design of the cards, but you get another image, this time of the big top with the ringmaster standing there in the center. Or I guess it was probably a sideshow tent rather than the big top. Beautiful look to it overall, celebration limited edition, and of course gives Marianne Larsen credit as an award-winning artist down there at the bottom. It's finished out with this beautiful shiny gold foil postage stamp style seal, proclaiming this as the celebration edition and letting you know that there's a total of 1,826 decks printed. And that number, not random, is actually 1,826 days in 5 years. So since this is the 5th anniversary deck, they gave it 1,826 total decks made. Kind of a cool little touch there. So you open it up, you get the welcome banner on the interior flap. And one of the highlights of the deck overall is this beautiful artwork on the interior. The almost, I don't know, kind of like colored pencil styled artwork, and kind of looks like the entrance to a fun house or something like that, with the laughing face there greeting you as you open up the deck. It's kind of a creepy surprise waiting for you on the interior, but beautiful artwork just to complete what is a fantastic tuck box overall. But let's get into the cards. We'll start with the back design. All right, so here it is. So the blues and the reds and the striped elements here in the center kind of give you the feel, definitely inspired by the circus tents. The kind of look like you're looking at one of those tents from above with the red and the white stripes. And then just a whole slew of different performers. Again, kind of a very Victorian artwork style surrounding the tent all the way around with the starry sky in the background. It's a beautiful kind of chaotic look to the back design, but that tent element in the center I think really brings things together nicely. Now it is a one-way back design. You'll see the reds in the corners here, and the characters don't match up top to bottom. So it is definitely a one-way back design, but I think just a beautifully illustrated piece of work. It is a borderless design, so it does look fantastic in fans. You can see the nice reds that come out if you fan from one side, and then you get a completely different look if you fan from the other side. But really nice look to it. Borderless decks always show really nicely in fans overall. All right, that is your back design. Now we go to the main deck, and we'll start off with the extra card. So you get a little kind of an ad card here for the Sideshow deck. So welcoming you to the Sideshow with their tagline, "The riskier, the merrier." And then you get some diptych jokers, and I love diptych jokers. I think they always look fantastic. These two combine together to form an image of the interior of the circus tent. You can see some of the different elements that some of the performers might use, like the iron bars for the strongman, for example, all kind of littering the background of this one. But very cool look to it. Like I said, love diptych jokers. All right, but now into the main deck, and we'll start off by checking out the 4 aces. So ace of spades, only slightly enhanced to make it the power ace, of course, presented by Marianne, Larsen, and Sideshow playing cards. And then you get kind of a classic shaped spade pip, but kind of silhouetted image of a circus tent there in the middle. You can see a couple performers there in the middle, and then surrounded by this kind of gold colored frame around the outside. Like many of the decks from Isolated Thunderstorm, you get the Pippin Index in all 4 corners. So I mean, you can use this either left-handed or right-handed if you want to use this for gameplay. This kind of adds to the function of the deck. And the other 3 aces have a little bit simpler of a design silhouetted in the middle. Those stripes there kind of reminiscent of the circus tents as well. And then that same gold framed border. So there's your other 3 aces. So the larger pips, some nice little elements on those as well. The number cards I think are really cool in this one. So the pips are fully custom. Again, those stripes kind of bringing to mind the circus tents first and foremost. But as you flip through, you'll see just some sort of random fun twist to the pips. Like here we have the sort of skewed pips that are off center. And then some of them are a little bit more normal, nothing too crazy. But then certain ones you'll see like the cutoff pips here as the 7s. Just kind of fun to see what extra little twists get added as you go from one pip to the next. A little unbalanced, or this one kind of arranged in a circle. Kind of gives you a fun little twist as you go through the deck. So here's kind of a more crimson colored pips for the diamonds. There's more split pips or just oddly arranged pips as you go through. Love that one with the divided 7 in the middle. Off balance 8s. Just very cool kind of fun twists on these as you see the pips turned and twisted and split in all different directions. Love that little addition on these. And then finally into the hearts. Oh, there's one little tiny pip there in the center. All right, so those are the number cards. Fun little element there. But the best part of this deck, in my opinion, has got to be the quartz. The quartz are fantastically illustrated. Each one of them made to look kind of like a poster you might see advertising the circus. Each one talking about one of the little sideshow performers that you might see. So you'll see here on the Jack of Spades, beautiful one-way court and just a fantastically drawn image. The shading, the dynamic poses, just everything about this one's fantastic. Phrase at the bottom, the gourmet chef, and of course, kind of a little play on his act where he's a sword swallower and a fire swallower. Here's the Queen of Spades, the fortune teller with the black cat on her shoulder. Very mystic look to her there. And the strongman, another staple of any circus. You can see him bending the iron bar, stronger than steel. Here's a cool one, the ventriloquist, another very sort of evil looking one. Both the puppet and the puppet master kind of have the devious, mischievous look on them, but livelier than real. Here's the Queen of Diamonds, bendier than rubber. This is kind of a trippy card. It took me a second to figure out what the pose is. So she's got her leg bent up and then back through her arm that's twisted over her. But those contortionists able to bend themselves into all sorts of crazy positions. There's our clown friend that we saw on the tuck box, creepier than crows. Really evil look to him. Here's your escape artist, kind of Houdini-esque, bound up in chains there, but of course he can escape anything. Your queen of clubs, mixture of a bunch of different things. You have a variety performer here with the fan in hand, but of course it's the bearded lady there as the performer. Another kind of fun thing you'd see in a lot of circuses back in those days. Here's a potions maker. Again, kind of an evil look with the eye patch and that devious smile on his face with a little vial in his hand. And next up, the Jack of Hearts. So we get to the final three. You have of course, the classic knife thrower. Can throw that dagger with precision, so targeting everything. Queen of Hearts, the hypnotic dancer, and she's also obviously a snake charmer with that snake coiled around her. That's a really cool one. I love the forked tongue that she's got there. Just a nice little extra touch. And of course, a magician, the Mad Hatter magician here. Very Doctor Strange-esque look to him, and you can see the rabbit's ears poking out of the hat there. Beautiful look to these. I love how these just pop to life. The characters all just so dynamic, so flowing, the poses, and really beautifully drawn overall. And that is the deck. So there it is, the tribute to sideshows everywhere with Marianne Larsen's latest deck, Sideshow. Like I said, these are available exclusively on Isolated Thunderstorm's website, and a great way to celebrate a fantastic legacy of work that those guys have put out over the years. So very excited to have this one in my collection. Can't recommend enough picking these up for yourself. Now, if you are curious about the handling of these, I mentioned these are from MPC, which is not one that you typically think of as one of the better handling decks, but these are surprisingly good. Really kind of slippery finish to these, just really nice sturdy feel to them. Can't complain at all. These, for me, I'm not a cardist or anything like that, but as far as smooth handling, these are just as good as any deck out there. So kudos to MPC, who I think has really stepped up their game with some of their playing cards that they've produced before. So really pleased with that one. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this one. This look at Sideshow from Isolated Thunderstorm. And like I said, check out the link in the description. Pick one up for yourself. That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.